A stranger exposed my wife's affair, then made a shocking offer. The message came from a number I did not know. No greeting. No warning. Just one line that flipped my life upside down. Your wife is cheating. I can prove it. I stared at my phone, waiting for anger or fear to rush in, but what came first was disbelief. My wife was asleep beside me, breathing slow, peaceful, like nothing in the world was wrong. I almost deleted the message. Almost. Then another text arrived. A photo. Not clear, but clear enough. Her car. A place she said she never went. My hands shook as I sat up in bed. I looked at her face, searching for something different. She turned and mumbled my name in her sleep. That made it worse. Whoever this stranger was, they knew where to hurt me. I typed back one word. Who are you? The reply came instantly. Someone who thinks you deserve the truth. I did not sleep again that night. I kept replaying every small moment from the past few months. Late nights. New passwords. Sudden silence when I entered the room. I told myself I was reaching too far. In the morning, I watched her get dressed, talk about her plans, kiss my cheek like always. I wondered how long someone can lie and still sound normal. The stranger sent more proof while she was gone. Dates. Times. Messages she had deleted. My heart sank with every line I read. This was not a joke. This was not a guess. This was planned. Around noon, the stranger asked if we could meet. Public place. My choice. I felt sick but agreed. I needed answers, even if they hurt. When I arrived, I expected someone angry or smug. Instead, I saw a calm man sitting alone, stirring his drink like he had all the time in the world. He did not smile when I sat down. He simply slid his phone across the table. More photos. Clear ones. My wife. Another man. No doubt left to hide behind. I wanted to shout, but my voice stayed low. Why are you showing me this? I asked. He leaned back and said something that shocked me even more than the proof. Because I was where you are now. He told me his own marriage ended the same way. Lies? Secrets? Silence? He said he learned that truth only matters if you know what to do with it. I told him I did not need advice. He nodded and said, I'm not here to advise you. I'm here to offer you something. That word made my stomach turn. Offer. He explained slowly. He had resources. Information. And a plan that could protect me if things turned ugly. I laughed at first. Then I realized he was serious. I went home confused and angry. My wife was in the kitchen, humming like nothing was wrong. I watched her hands move, steady and familiar. I wondered how long she had practiced acting normal. That night, I confronted her. Not with shouting. Not with threats. Just one question. Is there something you want to tell me? She froze for a second. Just a second. Then she smiled and said no. That smile hurt more than the lie. I showed her one photo. Her face changed. Not denial. Fear. She sat down slowly and started talking. She said it meant nothing. She said it just happened. She said she was sorry. I listened without interrupting. When she finished, I asked one more thing. How long? She whispered the answer. Months. That word echoed in my head. Months of lies. Months of shared space built on nothing solid. She begged. Promised. cried. I believed none of it and all of it at the same time. I slept on the couch that night. In the morning, she acted hopeful, like tears had fixed everything. I felt empty. The stranger texted again. Did you talk to her? I replied yes. He asked if I was ready to hear the offer again. I told him to explain it clearly. He called me instead. He said divorces can be quiet or destructive. He said some people lie more when cornered. He offered to help me prepare. Not revenge. Protection. Evidence. Strategy. You decide what you do with it, he said. I asked what he wanted in return. His answer surprised me. Nothing. I just don't want you walking blind like I did. I did not trust him fully, but I trusted the situation even less. Over the next few days, I watched my wife closely. She tried harder than ever. Cooking. Laughing. Touching my arm. Every move felt rehearsed. With the stranger's help, I learned more than I wanted. Accounts. Messages. Lies stacked neatly on top of each other. The man she was seeing was married too. That detail made me angry in a new way. I started keeping notes. Dates. Words. Changes in behavior. I hated what I was becoming, but I hated being fooled more. One evening, she told me she was going to visit a friend. I nodded. 30 minutes later, the stranger sent me her location. She was not with any friend. That was the moment something inside me went quiet. I knew then that this was no mistake. This was a choice she kept making. The stranger suggested patience. He said rushing would only give her control of the story. I followed his advice. I acted normal. I played my role well. Inside, I was planning. Gathering. Preparing. I met the stranger again. He explained how lies fall apart when faced calmly. He said anger makes people defensive, but silence makes them talk. I asked how he learned all this. He said experience is a hard teacher. At home, my wife sensed something different. She asked if I was okay. I said I was tired. That was true. Tired of pretending. Tired of wondering. One night, she fell asleep on my shoulder. I stayed awake, staring at the wall, realizing love can exist alongside betrayal. That realization hurt more than anything else. The offer became clearer with time. The stranger would help me expose the affair in a way that protected me legally and emotionally. No public scenes. No shouting. Just facts placed where they mattered. He said the goal was control, not pain. I struggled with that. Part of me wanted her to feel everything I felt. Another part wanted peace. We prepared quietly. Documents. Records. Conversations saved. When the day came, I asked her to sit down. My voice stayed calm. I placed everything on the table. One by one. She stared at the proof like it could disappear if she looked long enough. She asked how I knew so much. I told her the truth. Someone showed me. Her face changed. Fear turned into anger. Who? She asked. I shook my head. That doesn't matter. She tried to turn it on me. Said I invaded her privacy. Said I pushed her away. I listened until she finished. Then I spoke. I told her I knew about the lies. All of them. I told her trust was gone. She cried again, louder this time. Asked if we could fix it. I said I did not know. That answer shocked her more than anger would have. Over the next few days, we talked about separation. Calmly. Carefully. She moved between regret and blame. I stayed steady. The stranger checked in but never pushed. He reminded me that whatever I chose had to let me sleep at night. That mattered more than winning. I began to see him not as a stranger, but as someone who had walked this road already. The shocking offer came back one final time. He said if I wanted, he could help confront the other man's family with proof as well. Not for revenge, but for truth. I thought about it for days. I imagined the damage. I imagined the relief. In the end, I said no. I realized I did not want to spread pain just because mine was deep. I told the stranger thank you. He said something I will never forget. Choosing peace is the hardest win. My wife and I separated quietly. No drama. No lies left to uncover. She admitted more once she realized I already knew everything. Honesty came too late, but it came. Living alone felt strange at first. Quiet in a different way. I replayed everything often, wondering where things first broke. Therapy helped. Writing helped. Time helped most of all. The stranger faded from my life, but his impact stayed. He never asked for credit. Never asked for payment. He simply disappeared the way he appeared. Sometimes I wonder if he was real, or just the right person at the right moment. What I know is this: truth changes shape depending on how you meet it. I met mine through a stranger, and it saved me from years of lies. People ask how I stayed calm. The truth is, I wasn't calm. I was focused. Focus keeps you standing when emotions try to knock you down. I learned that love without honesty is just habit wearing a nice mask. I also learned that strangers can show up and change your life without meaning to stay in it. Starting over felt strange, like learning to walk in shoes that did not belong to my old life. I moved into a small apartment with plain walls and too much quiet. At first, the silence felt heavy, but slowly it became honest. I controlled my days again. I ate when I wanted, slept when I was tired, and stopped checking my phone with fear. Friends noticed the change before I did. They said I looked lighter, even when I felt unsure inside. I stopped asking why the affair happened and started asking what I wanted next. That shift mattered. I no longer waited for apologies that could not fix the past. I focused on routines, small wins, and rebuilding confidence. Every morning became proof that life did not end with betrayal. It only changed direction. The pain did not vanish, but it lost power. I was no longer reacting. I was choosing, and that choice slowly gave me peace. One evening, I ran into the stranger again by accident. Same café. Same quiet corner. He nodded, surprised but calm. We talked like two people who shared a storm and survived it. He told me he moved on too, rebuilt his life piece by piece. I thanked him properly this time. He brushed it off and said timing matters more than heroes. Before leaving, he said something simple but deep. Truth hurts once. Lies hurt every day. That stayed with me. I realized I was no longer angry at him, my wife, or even myself. I was grateful for clarity. Betrayal had forced me to grow in ways comfort never would. When we parted, I knew that chapter was closed. Some people enter your life to stay. Others come to wake you up. Both have value. I walked home feeling steady, knowing I could trust my judgment again, without fear or doubt controlling my steps. Months later, I learned how to be alone without feeling lonely. I cooked real meals again. I laughed without forcing it. I stopped replaying old conversations in my head. Therapy helped me understand patterns I ignored before. I learned that love should feel safe, not confusing. I also learned that ignoring discomfort does not make it disappear. It only grows quietly. I forgave myself for staying too long and for trusting too easily. Those were not weaknesses. They were human traits used against me. I began dating slowly, carefully, with clearer boundaries. I listened more. I walked away sooner when things felt wrong. For the first time, I felt in control of my emotional space. That mattered more than being in a relationship. I was no longer afraid of endings. I knew I could survive them. That knowledge gave me strength I did not know I had before everything fell apart. I also stopped hiding the truth of my story. When people asked what happened, I spoke plainly. No drama. No shame. The truth felt lighter each time I said it. I realized secrecy protects the wrong things. Speaking openly helped me heal faster. Some people related more than I expected. They shared their own stories of betrayal and survival. I saw how common pain is and how quiet people carry it. That changed how I treated others. I became more patient, more observant. I learned that everyone is fighting something unseen. My anger faded into understanding, not excuses, but clarity. I no longer needed to prove anything. I did not need revenge or validation. Peace became my goal. Every choice I made went through one question: does this protect my peace? If the answer was no, I let it go. Life became simpler that way, and simplicity felt like freedom. One day, my ex-wife reached out again. Not for closure this time, but to apologize without defense. I listened. She owned her choices fully. That mattered. I accepted the apology without reopening wounds. We were two different people now. I wished her well and meant it. Ending that call felt like closing a door gently instead of slamming it. There was no victory in holding on to pain. I learned that forgiveness is not forgetting. It is choosing not to relive the hurt every day. After that, I felt lighter than I had in years. The past finally stayed where it belonged. I focused on the present, on work, health, and friendships. I rebuilt trust with myself first. That foundation mattered most. When you trust your instincts again, fear loses its grip. I was no longer defined by what happened to me, but by how I responded afterward. Looking back, the stranger's offer was never really about exposing the affair. It was about giving me control when I felt powerless. Control over truth. Control over timing. Control over my own dignity. I understand that now. Without that help, I might have reacted badly and regretted it forever. Instead, I learned restraint and clarity. Those lessons stayed with me. I stopped rushing decisions. I started thinking long-term. I learned that emotions are real, but do not always deserve the steering wheel. Balance matters. I still feel sadness sometimes when I remember the life I thought I had. But I also feel gratitude for the life I have now. Stronger. Clearer. Honest. Pain shaped me, but it did not ruin me. That difference is important. Not every broken chapter destroys the book. Some chapters exist to change the direction of the story entirely. As time passed, new opportunities appeared. Career growth. New friendships. Even new love, slowly and carefully. I did not rush into anything. I valued trust more than excitement. I asked questions. I listened to actions, not words. The past taught me that promises mean nothing without consistency. I became better at spotting red flags without paranoia. Experience sharpened my awareness. I felt proud of the man I was becoming. Not perfect, but grounded. I learned to enjoy peace instead of chaos. That shift surprised me most. I used to confuse intensity with love. Now I know love should feel steady, not exhausting. When I finally allowed someone new into my life, I did it with honesty from the start. No masks. No fear. That felt like real progress. I was no longer surviving. I was living again, with intention and self-respect guiding every step forward. Sometimes I imagine what would have happened if I ignored that first message. I might still be living a lie, smiling through confusion, doubting myself daily. That thought reminds me how powerful truth is, even when it arrives painfully. I am thankful I listened instead of deleting it. Courage does not always look brave. Sometimes it looks like reading something you do not want to see. Facing reality saved me years of quiet suffering. I share this story not to shame anyone, but to remind others that your instincts matter. When something feels off, it usually is. Ignoring it does not protect your heart. It delays healing. Life improves when you face hard truths early. That lesson cost me a marriage, but it gave me myself back. And that trade, painful as it was, turned out to be worth it. I no longer wait for life to explain itself to me. I take responsibility for what I allow. Boundaries became my new language. I stopped overgiving and underasking. I learned that love should meet you halfway, not leave you chasing clarity. These lessons did not come gently, but they came clearly. I accept that chapter of my life without bitterness now. It taught me discernment. It taught me strength. It taught me that being alone is better than being lied to. I sleep better these days. I wake up without dread. Those are signs of healing no one talks about enough. Peace shows up quietly. It does not announce itself. One day you just realize you are okay again. That realization feels better than revenge ever could. I would not wish betrayal on anyone, but I will say this: survival builds a kind of wisdom nothing else can. The stranger never contacted me again after that last meeting. I think that was intentional. His role was complete. He did not need gratitude or recognition. That made his help even more real. Not everyone who changes your life wants to stay in it. Some people are bridges. You cross them and keep moving. I respect that now. I stopped searching for reasons and focused on results. The result was growth. Clarity. Freedom. I am no longer afraid of being alone or starting over. I know I can handle it. That confidence cannot be taken from me. It was earned. Slowly. Painfully. Honestly. I carry that strength forward into everything I do. The past no longer defines me. It informed me. And that makes all the difference in how I move through the world today. If someone reading this is facing a similar moment, I want you to know this: you are not weak for trusting. You are not foolish for loving. Betrayal is a reflection of choices made by others, not your value. The hardest part is accepting what you cannot change. Once you do that, everything shifts. Focus on what you can control. Your response. Your boundaries. Your healing. Do not rush forgiveness, but do not live in bitterness either. Time works best when paired with honesty. Allow yourself to grieve what you lost, then slowly build something new. It will not look the same, and that is okay. Different does not mean worse. Sometimes it means healthier. I am proof of that. Life after betrayal is not empty. It is just quieter at first. Listen carefully. That quiet will teach you who you really are. I no longer look back with regret. I look back with understanding. Every step, even the painful ones, led me here. I am stronger, more aware, and more grounded than before. I trust myself now. That trust is priceless. Relationships may come and go, but self-respect stays. Losing it costs more than any breakup ever could. I guard it carefully. I do not settle for confusion dressed as love. I choose clarity, even when it is uncomfortable. That choice shapes everything. I am not angry anymore. I am grateful for the lesson and the growth that followed. The chapter closed exactly when it needed to. I did not fail. I learned. And learning changed my life in ways comfort never would have. A stranger exposed my wife's affair and made a shocking offer. That moment shattered my illusion, but saved my future. Truth arrived without warning, but it gave me direction. I lost a marriage, but I gained self-respect, clarity, and peace. Not every ending is a tragedy. Some endings are exits from stories that no longer serve you. This was mine.